Were you here Saturday night?
Was I here Saturday? Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you do?
Nothing.
This is the Super Ugly Show.
You should have got that wrestling thing. I was fucking
It is fucking going down, everyone. You are not gonna want to miss this.
He's doing.
We've been on the brand since it started.
Super Ugly Show.
Tuesdays with the Super Ugly Show.
I encourage my children and my grandchildren
old enough to
listen
watch
to
it?
this. When they're old enough to, whenever.
I'm the glue for this puzzle here.
Yeah, the next day on demand, right?
I'll live in infamy forever now. My kids will have record of this. My grandkids will have record of this. This will always be there.
Oh, I thought Rocky was the asshole of the show.
I'm the
It turns out
asshole.
I'm the fucking asshole. I didn't even want to be the asshole.
I'm a nice guy.
Oh, it's gonna get ugly.
You're not safe.
Damn it!
There you go.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Wait, what?
That's cookie, right?
Just sing this.
I blame you guys.
No, don't blame them.
I'm blaming them.
Someone's calling in, Rich.
Oh, shit.
That's not good. Don't even have a drink of alcohol. Your lid is fucked up.
What up, everybody? Super Ugly, number 291, Rich. We're on the verge of 300. 300 episodes of this, pal. Me and you, buddy.
Yes, sir.
300. Oh, yeah, that's true. 300 nights of just shooting the shit with my pal, my buddy. Sometimes we have special guests. Sometimes we have celebrities. Tonight, we have a little bit of both. A local celebrity, a legend, an icon in the barber industry, Ponyboy.
Hey!
And, you know, the savior, the savior of the Super Ugly Show. Last week, John shows up when needed most. Richie calls last second to tell me he's not coming, and who comes through? My pal Johnny.
Yeah.
So welcome, gentlemen, to another fun episode of Super.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
How did he do last week anyway?
Fantastic.
He did, right?
Oh, we had some big laughs.
Really?
We were doing bits, Rich.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I was making fun of Hinkle for a while, doing the voice.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
John didn't hear, though, the news about how Hinkle was most upset with him.
Yeah.
Because he said that they were like brothers and that they would talk late at night on
were
the
you
phone.
guys really that close? Were you really that close with him?
We already discussed this.
No, because I know you sent him like wrestling figures
I
and
mean,
stuff.
I sent him a fucking picture, song.
Yeah.
I never had like late night conversations with him.
Girl,
Yeah, but if you sent him your personal like autograph,
Dude, the guy's been through a lot of
but
shit.
when his father passed, you could talk to
I
him
called
on
him
the
on
phone,
the phone.
Yeah.
Once.
So you're not that off by saying.
Yeah, but I called. I mean, like,
why did he block you though?
Because I didn't answer. We didn't answer his inboxes quick enough.
Yeah, but you were one of his closest.
I don't
friends.
answer inboxes, man. I don't even have it on.
Neither do I. I'm terrible at that.
With
So
what?
That's messed up. You're one of his closest.
That smells good.
You're one of his closest friends, and he blocks you too for no reason.
Closest friends. Yeah, we
Yeah.
grew up in a fucking.
Flores, what's your... Oh, there you are. Yeah.
What? You got me?
Yeah, I'm just tagging you on the group.
He's make like
group
call him at night, and he's like fucking laying in bed, and he's like, "What are you doing, man? Nothing."
Wait, who said I had anal reconstruction surgery?
Again.
Yeah, well, that's... We were just, we tell our audience the truth, Rich. We don't lie to them.
Richie actually.
What's right is right.
Yeah.
Richie actually This is when I knew there was something. He actually nonstop was bugging me to do the show last week.
Yeah.
And didn't say he was going to do it. Didn't say he was not going to.
And it was last minute because
No,
emergency...
it was started at like 4, maybe 3. And I said, I'll do it. And he kept on going. I don't know. I said maybe I won't do it. Then he's going, giving me this speech, calling me up like I have a responsibility, like all this shit. And I'm like, dude, you fucking out of your mind?
See, I love that shtick. Though, hold on, because I love that, Richie. I got all these. It's an hour, one night a week.
Right. It's not
Like
much. It's not
literally, you should be able to drop every. And it's 7:30. It's not like it's even like a prime time hour of the day.
My little
Right.
thing is either I run if I'm late, I wind up doing stuff and whatever, or I only fall asleep because I'm literally up so early in the morning.
Yeah.
And I that's it. It's not like I love seeing you guys and stuff, and but I don't like to even extend the welcome once in a while because I think it's better they show up sporadically than every week.
What the fuck is going on? What is this? What are you doing?
Yeah, what's the deal
What?
with all that?
All this? What is
I have
this?
no
What are you, a
idea.
chemist? What do you mean you have
Breaking
no
Bad.
idea? It's in front of you. What is this shit? He looks like a snake oil salesman from the fucking like 1800s. He's got all these weird vials and jars here. What is this shit?
Try this one.
What are you doing?
Smell this.
Are any of
Are
those
you
sold
tinkering?
like at all?
Nah.
Oh man.
It was B.
A sippy cup? No, I'm very festive. During Halloween, I had my Halloween tiki mugs. I have Michael Myers. I have the Nun.
What are you answering?
The chat. And I have a Pinhead tiki mug. I had a Leatherface, but it broke. I was very upset. And for Christmas, I got myself a Buddy the Elf tiki mug. The only problem is if you don't straw it, you have to drink it weird like this.
I see.
All right. So what did you guys do this week?
I didn't even realize that.
Someone wrote, "What's wrong with John's fingernails? What's wrong with his fingernails? What's wrong with your
Why do they
fingernails?"
look like that?
I didn't cut them. Who wrote that? First of all,
I don't know. Someone in the chat.
Well,
I was
chat.
thinking the same
Oh,
thing.
now it's been removed. Now it's been removed. It's been removed now. Now it's been removed. But yeah, someone wrote, "What's wrong with this?" Let me see.
Who wrote? I want to know
What
who
the
wrote
hell
it.
is wrong with
I
your
want to know
fingernail?
who wrote it because I'm gonna guess.
Who?
Fox.
No,
What's
it
wrong
wasn't
with your
Doug Fox.
fingernails? They
Didn't
look
get
weird.
like that.
They are really big and like.
I know.
And they're really
I know.
white.
Everybody
Why are they
says
so
that. I'm
white?
gonna die. I don't know. They're white. I clean them. Not really.
They're gigantic fingernails.
Bro, what the
like
fuck?
Richie
I actually have
is
to
a
cut
monster of a guy, right? Look at his fingernails. They're about the same size as mine.
fingernail. It has like a
small
moose
fingers.
knuckle.
Bro.
Rich, can I see your hands for a second? You have small hands for a big guy. Let me see that.
You gotta
I
see
have
those-
small hands and I'm a little guy.
Hold hands for a second.
I would think.
He's
I
got
guess,
long
but
toes,
I don't
too,
know.
I got a size 15 shoe though.
Yeah, that's where it counts because we all
Yeah.
know you got a big cock then, right? So, we see
Son,
where you
those
were going.
fingernails are fucking weird. They're bugging me
Whatever,
out.
dude.
They were bugging me out last week too. I got to be honest. I
No.
looked at them and I was like,
Fine.
"Those are weird fingernails." I've never seen fingernails like that because they're not even like they're almost like rounded.
Yeah, and
too.
they covered like
They
the
look
whole.
like teeth. Look.
Yes.
Yeah, and
They're
I'm not
really-
kidding. They're the size of nickels,
It's
like if
really
not
weird.
bigger, almost a quarter probably. They're big.
Can we show the audience?
Serious.
Can you
Nah,
get up
next
close?
week when I trim them.
No, we have to show. Come on.
Come on, get up close. Grab the camera, Rich. Grab the
God,
camera.
what kind of a nail cutter you need to
I
clip
bite
them,
them
Jones?
sometimes.
You
Do
bite
you?
them.
That's it.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good. Bring them up close.
Yeah, really.
Stop
get 'em in
moving.
there. Oh, those
Now,
are
wait,
gorgeous.
no, bring
Yeah.
it to compare. Put yours there. I'm gonna put
Look at
mine.
that one. There's a split.
Look at this It's a comparison.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that.
There's a camel toe.
That's fantastic.
It's so fucking crazy.
Whatever fucking dude is staring at my hands is fucking.
Well, they're weird hands, though.
I know,
Like,
but I mean-
you
I
act
mean-
like they're staring at
Yeah,
your
I
dick.
mean, it's
That's-
kinda
your
far,
hands
bro.
are out.
That's an oddity.
What?
That's an oddity.
So is your fucking dick. But like whatever.
No, a lot of people have.
And your
have-
head.
And I guarantee Richie doesn't have like a gigantic cock. It's probably big,
No, it's a
but
fair
I doubt
size.
it's like fucking, you
No,
know, like
it's normal.
Lexington Steel or something. You
It's
know what I mean?
normal.
Dude, it's almost
It's a normal
Lexington
thing.
Steel. Just don't have the shadow look to it.
Yeah.
All right, let's stop talking about Richie's cock.
All right, let's talk about the most important event of the week.
Which was?
Me and my buddy and my lovely wife went to the movies on Thursday night, one night only. One showing in the theaters. You cannot see this
night
again in the theaters. One night, one showing.
I did not know that.
And we got a bunch of cool like videos. You didn't see those because you came in a little late. Of Stallone doing the process of the Rocky vs. Drago, Rocky 4 director's cut.
The making.
And,
The making of?
kind of, because it's not really making of. It's him just editing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's him more kind of explaining where he is today as to opposed where he was in 1985 or 84.
Kind of like what we saw on YouTube the
Yeah.
other day.
It's exactly that. It
Yeah.
was that.
Yeah,
That's what it
It
was.
was great.
And then the hour and a half one, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
That was fantastic.
And then after that, Stallone was in Philly at a Philly movie theater and did a live interview.
Because he knew it was being broadcasted all at the same time, and he was talking to everybody right before they were going to watch the movie.
So
live.
we all got to see this live interview with Sly, which was fucking
Amazing.
awesome. And I mean, that guy, he's a freak of nature when it comes to aging. Like he's 76 years old.
He looks fantastic.
He doesn't look a day over 60.
Yeah.
Nah, he
And
looks
I mean,
fantastic.
like he's
Him and Judge Judy are like they defy odds.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And Schwarzenegger too.
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger's in his late 70s also. He might even be 80.
Yeah.
I think he turned 80
Did you see
recently,
Judge
didn't he?
Judy? Because she looks like
Yeah,
she looks
she's
younger
on,
than she did.
Her thing always pops up on something I
Yeah,
watch.
and I seen it. I'm
Yeah.
like, what the
You
fuck?
talking
Why
about
did
the lady in the
Yeah,
judge
she's
show?
got
Yes.
a new judge show again, so I constantly see
Very
commercials
popular.
for her.
Very
How old
popular.
is she?
Dude, she's like a trillionaire
She's
because of that
79
shit.
She's 79 years old, and she looks better now than she did 20 years ago.
Yeah, but she's
attractive.
like a trillionaire. She's
Yeah,
loaded,
I
that
believe
lady,
it.
from the Judge Judy shit.
One
Like
more thing-
super loaded.
One more thing too. Yo, I was watching her show, and she's remembering all this shit. Her mind at 80
Sharp.
is sharper than anybody's at 20 and 30 years old.
Love you, Aunt
You
Cindy.
would never think that somebody that old would be that sharp.
Yeah.
Aunt Cindy
yeah.
says, I dated a guy once with a size 15 shoe. It's a myth, I swear to you.
Oh, ay.
Yeah, Sydney, yeah.
Well, you got to think not everybody with a big foot is going to be packing. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't go hand in hand. It's not like it's
All right.
scientific.
Aunt Sydney, how small was it? And be honest.
How small was what?
She said
Was-
she's got to go back to work, so she might not be there anymore. But, if she is, she'll gladly tell us she's...
4 inch, 5 inch, 6 inch.
Well,
Yeah,
how
but-
big was the guy, too? That's the other thing.
You have any pictures?
Of what?
Guy's wiener.
My penis?
No,
yeah,
the
I got
guys.
Aunt
pictures.
Cindy's? No, this was a long time ago.
Yeah.
She's a
Oh, this is
lesbian
your real
now.
Aunt Cindy?
This is
Really?
when she was banging guys. Yeah. Yeah. I think she is. Pretty sure. Yeah, she's one of my Texas folks. I got my Texas family. I got my New York family. She's in my my Texas squad.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But Rocky IV, Stallone does the live interview. We all get to watch that. And then the movie starts, and I mean, it literally just starts.
Yeah.
like
I
there's
noticed that.
there's no introduction. There's
from part 3.
yeah.
that,
There's
but
no
the-
produced by.
But hold on,
boxing
not
gloves.
just from part 3, but
No Eye of the
snippets-
Tiger.
Yeah, but
None of
snippets
that, yeah.
of him losing to pretty much
Clubber. They
the
show
Clubber.
the loss to Clubber.
and then they show the get back. They show like
Him and Apollo. The whole
Yeah.
focus, the whole point of this thing, from what we've been told and what I can gather watching it, is that it was meant to strengthen the relationship between Rocky and Apollo, because the fourth one was so rushed that we knew it from 3, but you may have forgotten from 3 to 4. You know what I'm saying? And in 4, the original, it's so rushed. You know, I mean, other than
it's a quick flyby
said that.
montage.
yeah, other than the conversation, we sure as hell can't be born again, Stein. Other than that, there's really not much of Rocky Apollo real interaction.
Until now.
Yeah.
Yo, because we watched it the next day on Prime.
Yeah.
And when I'm telling you, I was like, listen, they took out all the poppy stuff that was like 80s.
The MTV
and-
shit.
Yeah, and made it a real
Drama.
drama. They
Yeah.
went into detail about certain things. They dove into more substance.
They got rid of the robot. He's completely gone.
Yeah,
The
so,
kid
like-
has one scene, and that's it. And the scene actually, I thought, was one of the better Rocky, no matter how hard you get hit. He says something in that speech to
He's
his
saying-
kid in the bed. I forget exactly.
He's pretty much saying that people aren't going to agree with something you want to do later on in life, but you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, you got to do what's best for you, what's
And,
right
yeah.
for you.
And please tell her, how great was it,
Oh no!
Didn't he say that at his mother's grave and
bro? When I'm telling
when
you,
he fought the robot, the robot fight?
Rock'em Sock'em.
But the robot,
you know
the
what I'm
only reason
talking
why the
about.
robot was in it, because that robot was a sensory robot for his autistic kid. That robot was actually used for autistic children, and he bought it for his kid, and then for some reason decided to put it in the fucking movie. But
I
they
mean, but I feel like the second half of the movie
is
felt
almost the
very
same.
much like
Almost the
original.
same.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's really
There's
the
certain
first
things
half.
taken out though, like Paulie's falling in the snow. They shortened that and they gave him a new line.
Yeah.
It's not as funny. You know, and to me, that's one of the best
Yeah,
moments in,
yeah.
in the whole Rocky series. And then a line that was taken out that fucking killed me. But I was like, how do you take that out when they're in the second round of the fight and Paulie, Rocky says, I see 3 of them out there. And Paulie goes, hit the one in the middle. Duke's response is, right, hit the one in the middle. And then starts doing his thing.
Yeah.
They cut out Duke's, right, hit the one in the middle. And for me, I love that part. I
Yeah.
like why take it's one line. You had to take that one line out. It's it's a great line.
Yeah.
Because it kind of
It shows them that they're on track with each other.
but it also lightened the mood of watching Rocky get destroyed in the first round.
Yeah.
He got the cut, but you're still like, holy shit, as a first-time viewer.
And another thing I love about the also the fighting, they added more fighting scenes inside the Rocky and Drago,
Yeah.
and they added a knockdown
noticed that,
on
yeah.
on Drago and Apollo.
And- yeah.
That was just fucking well needed because in the regular one, it just like he murders Apollo so easily, walks right
Yeah.
through him, and in this one, it's different.
Apollo actually fights a little bit.
Yeah.
And they take out.
Well, we don't want to give too much, but
I don't care. Fuck that.
it
You
was
should have
so-
watced it. If you're a
Yeah,
Rocky fan,
it was worth it. It
snooze,
was
you
so
lose.
good.
I got a
But
question really quick. In the intro, I meant to ask you this the other night too. Why does Rocky throw his helmet at his own statue? What do you think that was trying to
he's
signify?
just saying you ain't shit. You don't deserve the statue.
because he feels like he was a fraud because
That's where he got exposed.
Yeah,
was at that
he was supposed to
statue.
be like shielded from.
That's when he lost, right?
Yeah. He felt like he was being shielded by Mickey
wrong with
not to
playing
fight
when he was
good
driving
fighters,
around?
but it wasn't true.
He's driving around like all sad.
In 4? No
No,
Easy
when-
Way
when
Out,
he-
Robert Tepper. Best song
was
in the
all
fucking
sad.
film
Oh,
series.
forget about it.
Best song in the series.
Then he throw it.
Fantastic.
Then he throw the helmet. Then he threw the helmet at the statue.
I think it's just one of those dun, dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun. I think it's just a soft
Well, the-
piano.
the-
So they
statue-
gave the
the-
speech to the little kid in the movie. They didn't. They didn't put that in the first one. Can you? Sorry.
No, they did, but not.
There's more to it.
Yeah, there's just more. They added more.
And I
to
think
it.
they took out the if a big giant man
Yeah,
was,
they
that
did.
was gone, right?
Yeah.
There was different angles in the fights.
Yeah.
There was
Better sound.
better sound with the
Yeah.
hits. The
Much
hits
better sound.
didn't
Hits.
sound.
Yeah.
The old ones, the only way I can kind of explain it, they sounded kind of almost wet.
Yeah.
Like if you
tacky.
were punching
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
wet heavy bag
What,
or
the
something.
old ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where this sounded like if you're
punch.
at a fight,
Yeah.
that's what it sounds like. You
Yeah.
know?
There was more depth to it.
Kinda
This
What do
Rocky
they call
4
it?
made me
A
take a
queef?
better look at each and every character. You know, even
Well-
Drago. For
Well,
some
Adrian
reason.
gets
Yeah.
a huge
You
bump
know.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Huge bump up
Yeah,
in
yeah,
this.
yeah.
Where you don't hate her as much
Yeah,
either
but
because you
yeah.
understand her more.
The thing with Rocky and Adrian, and when she comes to Russia, it shows you it levels him up.
Yeah.
In the original, it doesn't show him being leveled up. In this one, it kind of like explains him being leveled up and into that, him being catapulted into
Also,
that,
in the old
that
one,
guy.
they made it seem like it was happened overnight.
Yeah.
Like Rocky went out for a run, and then when he
Yeah,
came back, she
yeah.
was there.
Yeah.
In the new one,
It's
you're
different.
made to understand this is over the course of weeks, maybe even a
Yeah.
month or two.
Right.
Like there's time going on. You could see the beard growing.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I also thought they were going to take out the steroids, and then at the last second,
Love it.
they put that needle in. Because I'm watching the last montage, and I'm like, they didn't show steroids at all, did they?
Yeah.
And then in the very last second of the montage, you see the needle. And I was like, they didn't take. I thought they were going to take that out.
I hate to jump back to this, back into the movie, but I'm so happy that they kept the Apollo dance before the fight, and they do
It
it
shows his
differently.
arrogance, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do it differently. They do it 100 times better too.
And they don't show him dancing as much.
Yeah.
You see him just doing kind of footwork around James Brown and kind of
Yeah.
doing this, but
But
not all running and.
But if you watch, they go into. Sorry, buddy.
No, I'm not. I don't have questions. I have questions.
They go into James Brown thing, and they don't show Apollo yet. They go into like this whole like Las Vegas, and then Apollo comes like halfway into the
But
song.
also with Drago, if you remember in the original, he looked kind of scared, like
Yeah.
like a deer in headlights, like because he's never seen
Yeah,
anything like
yeah.
Las Vegas to begin with, and now there's James Brown and
Yeah.
people singing and dancing, and he was scared. In
but it's
this
in,
one,
like layers.
in this one though, he didn't have that look. He was just, let's do this. It was kind of like that Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Tunnel vision. I'm here to fight, and that's it. Nothing's gonna fucking,
So good.
And they gave him more dialogue.
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
the
for sure.
at the end of the fight.
Yeah, and they'll know my name.
Yeah.
Drago.
Well, he said Draga.
And then his
For-
dude would look back at him in some way, like as if it affected him.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was.
And then
either.
also at the end, the Russians didn't clap Rocky.
Yes,
They all walked
Right.
out and were like,
Right.
"This is fucking," which makes Creed now more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because now it makes sense. You know, like, because you didn't watch Creed 2.
I gotta watch Creed.
What the
2.
fuck?
I know. But
How have you? Not, it's better than one.
in Creed 2,
When
they
did it come out? What
they
year?
banish
It's like
him.
2 or 3 years old now, maybe even 4.
Yeah, they banish him from Russia. So, you know, he was only allowed.
Well, he's not
because the
banished,
son-
but he just lives in like, not a bum, but
Right,
he's
right.
very poor. You know, he lives in a 1-bedroom, fucking not even a 1-bedroom.
outside of Russia,
It's
though.
a studio shit apartment. Yeah, in like the Siberia maybe or wherever the
Yeah.
fuck they are. It's freezing. Everything's gray. There's no painting.
What,
you
what,
know.
Sli- what
Right,
Slice
and,
said?
all right. And when the kid lost, he was losing, and they turned their back on him, right? In
Well, the
second-
mother
no,
does.
in
The mother
Creed,
leaves.
It's
Yeah, the
that
mother
kind of
leaves.
shit. Wow.
Yeah.
Creed 2 or
Oh, sorry.
Creed
Yeah,
two.
sorry.
They
But
like
like
turn
Slice
their
said,
back. You gotta
he-
watch it.
he
It's a
took-
good
Yeah,
one.
I gotta.
Yeah,
see
but
that.
Drago,
Creed 1 was great.
out of
I love
everybody,
Creed
he was the only one that showed heart and showed, true emotion. Because the rest of the Russians are all these robot machines, and Drago's like, "This is my son. I'm not fucking leaving him."
Yeah.
And his piece of shit mother's walking off for the
She's
second
fucked
time.
up.
So that fucking trash bag.
Yeah.
Also, a line they took out that I don't know how I feel about it. I think it should have been kept in because it shows how evil the Russians were and how they knew the outcome before they even got there was, I hope we can be friends afterwards. They're sportsmen. When
Yeah.
she's talking to Creed's wife.
Yeah.
And they took that out, which I was like, again, it's a quick line. I don't think it
Yeah.
should have been removed. I think it kind of helps
Yeah.
the narrative.
I just love in Rocky 4, man, that remake. That for some reason everything was illuminated. Like I love the fact that both Rocky and Drago took notice to who they really were in that ring. Like both of them figured out that they were a serious opponent at some point.
Well, also,
Drago
too-
was human, and he recognized. Remember when he's saying this guy's made out of?
He's
iron?
made of
Yes,
iron. He's like a
yes.
piece of iron, he says.
like
Yeah.
He woke up. When
Yeah, well,
Rocky
'cause-
started going to work.
Because he gave him everything he had.
Yeah.
And Rocky was still getting up. And at that point, you go, well, now what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The last guy did this too. I killed him. This guy,
Yeah.
I'm doing it too. And
Yeah,
he's
I'm
getting
hitting
up.
him.
And in fact, he's hurting me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
So much
Rocky's
better.
just a
But
great
Drago-
character.
Up, man.
He's a great
Yo,
character,
honestly,
man.
they made a great movie even better. A perfect movie even better.
you think it's better?
It's better. It's
Have they-
better.
have they
See, I don't
done-
know how to feel about it because I've seen 4 literally hundreds of times.
Yeah, I've seen
It
this
is
one.
35 years of my life of seeing something one way and loving
Yeah.
it.
No, I know. but
you
he
know what I
fixed
mean?
it.
my
Like-
favorite one.
I'm telling you,
Four's
he
always been my
fixed, he
favorite.
fixed a great movie.
Yeah, but when
I
now they
don't-
maybe
I-
fix it,
I don't
maybe
think
made
it's
it more
fixed, I just think-
understandable.
I just think it's another way to
characters?
go with it. I don't
Yeah.
think it's
Well,
better. I
it's
don't think it's
also
worse.
Yeah.
35
I just
years
think
of
it's
wisdom.
It's
Right.
too different to even
Stallone's a
compare.
different man
Yeah.
today, you
I gotta
know?
try to watch that.
It's so good.
Yeah, but isn't it like again, like isn't it 35? It's like it's just more understandable to like the other shit now,
What do you mean?
I wouldn't say understandable.
like the characters now.
But
Well, like
they
a-
just go into more detail.
It
with
had
a lot
more of
the
a
stuff.
Rocky Balboa feel to it than a Rocky 3, Rocky 4, Rocky 5 movie,
Fast-paced.
where those were like, you know,
Yeah.
80s fucking action packed, you know,
Yeah.
flashing and everything.
He spends more time on detail than on visual.
He
like,
talks
substance.
through it, or just goes to like a movie.
Yeah, he gives a longer speech at the funeral. Duke gives a speech at the
No,
funeral.
I'm saying, is it like a document or is it the remake of
No,
the movie?
no,
No,
it's
it's
45 minutes of the
literally the
movie
movie.
is taken out,
Yeah.
and 45 new minutes were put in.
Right.
Yeah,
It's fucking good, bro.
so it's really good.
Very different.
There was a lot of Paulie cut out.
Yeah.
Well, I guess because most of his shit was with
But
the robots.
they still
so.
left him in the press conference. The press
Yeah.
conference was different
We don't
also.
hold our
Yeah,
people
that-
back with machine guns.
Yeah, the press conference was a lot different, and it was good though. It was really good.
Yeah, and Apollo wasn't as jokey. Like he got a couple jokes,
Well-
but they took out some of the jokey stuff.
It's weird how they did the press conference because the press conference starts out very lighthearted and
Yeah.
it goes into jokes and everybody's hanging out, and then it takes this turn and in this one,
Well,
it
it takes
kind
the-
of shows you the where it goes from jokes to now serious, and then Paulo gets
well, because
pissed.
of his ego. Because the second the guy
And
goes,
he's like he shouldn't even fight
Yeah.
him. He only, he
And
should
that
be
part,
fighting the
it
real
was-
champion.
It was different in subtle ways. I can't point it out right now. I'd have to watch it again. But there was some subtleties to that part where he is a has-been. We
Yeah.
shouldn't even. There was some little
And he's
things
like, he should
added
be
to
fighting
that.
Rocky, not him.
Exactly.
And
He
because-
actually says that. And
Yes.
He didn't in the original form.
Yeah.
Where
And-
he's like he should be fighting this guy,
Rocky.
not even wasting his time with him.
Yeah, because he's a has-been and blah blah blah. He's not even.
And
nothing.
this is right. This is at the point when they made the fight and Rocky's training him.
Yeah. And they show a
So
scene.
he's like insulting him.
He's
and it's like
insulting
a
him
jealous
and
thing
giving
now,
Rocky
too.
props, but not him.
And then there's a scene where Rocky's at the boxing commission and they won't sanction the fight.
Yes.
They're like, this guy's a
That was
nobody.
great,
He's
yeah.
0-0. One thing that bothers me that I picked up on, because again, I've seen these a million times, and this part where they're introducing Drago, right? And they're like, oh, he's this, that, and he's an Olympic gold medalist, right? Then why is everyone acting like they've never seen him before? If you're an Olympic gold medalist, people have seen you box. You know what I mean? You're an amateur, but you're a gold medalist in the Olympics.
Right.
People have seen you before.
Yeah.
They should have took that out because that one thing makes you go, wait a second. Why is everyone acting surprised about this guy? Why is it a big mystery? They should have seen him in the Olympics.
Yeah.
So, that was dumb. There was another couple things I wanted to gripe about, like the editing from scene to scene.
Sometimes it's cut a little abrupt.
Very abrupt.
Yeah.
And there was no transition. It was like, here we are in the yard, and now we're in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And it was like, there was no swipe, there was no fade, there was nothing.
They could have been missing those clips possibly. Because remember, the making of, he made a
No,
comment.
but you can do a fade.
Yeah,
You
but
know what I
he made
mean?
a comment like, "Oh, we're missing this little piece, and
Yeah.
now we got to like dig
How
in
was
for it."
the turtle in the movie?
There's
Yeah.
no turtles in 4.
No.
Yeah,
But
nice try, John.
But him wanting to cut out certain scenes, he would stop before they talked, and he just did it very fast. on some of
What
them.
did we watch in the shop when I was getting a haircut? And I just wanted to stay. Not Beverly Hills Cop. The one with the fucking the game when they played the game, and then we watched, and then they made the fight with him versus the guy.
Balboa. Rocky Balboa.
That movie was fuck. I said you watch. You gotta watch. Yeah,
Probably the most underrated film in the series.
That's what you were like. I'm like, yo,
I
that's
agree. That's a good
That's
movie.
so Sly's favorite one.
I said, yo, this movie is
that-
fucking
that's
Yeah,
incredible.
he said it.
movie.
Sly said it's my
Yeah.
favorite one.
Yeah.
And that movie, the more I watched it, the more I appreciate it. Like the first time I saw it, of course, I was like, this was awesome. I was just
Yeah.
hyped to see a new Rocky.
Of course.
And the theater was hype. It was all fucking. When I went to see that opening night, it was packed. Not a seat in the house.
think it was
And I
like-
mean, from 90-year-old women to 4-year-old little kids,
I think
and everything in
wasn't
between.
it was like a holiday. I think it was like Thanksgiving.
It was around
Christmas.
November, I believe.
And
And
what I really loved about that one was, remember how the movie was filmed in your typical dramatic, like
Yeah.
60 frames per second or whatever, and then the fight itself looked like we were watching pay-per-view.
Yeah, it was shot
Remember
on
that?
different film. Yeah.
That was awesome.
Which was a great touch.
Great
That's
touch.
something Stallone probably threw in, I guarantee you.
That was amazing.
Yeah, 'cause it
But
looked
that
like
movie-
HBO did it.
It's like Rocky 1, but if you had nothing in between Rocky 1 and Balboa, right? And you did it 25, 30 years later and you had Rocky 1 and Balboa, I think that movie honestly would have been up for Oscar contention. Like it would have been
possible,
for one.
yeah,
It was.
yeah.
It wasn't trashed by the critics. People liked it critically
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
and fans.
It was a big comeback.
But
Yeah.
it was also like kind of a joke of like, he's 60 and he's still doing Rocky, and that stigma was still there, and it didn't get a
Yeah.
fair chance. In Creed, he finally got his fair chance, and people, I think that's why he got it. I think they were like, we fucked up here. He deserved it here, because the one scene alone where he's like, nothing hits harder than life. That whole scene, that's Oscar gold right there. You can't show me anybody else. De Niro, Meryl Streep. I don't give a fuck who it is. He is on par with every other actor in that fucking scene. He murdered it. And that movie, everyone sleeps on it, and it's so fucking. It's the one that got my daughter Anna into Rocky.
Really?
I've had every Rocky movie on, and she'll walk by and be like, whatever. Rocky Balboa was on. And I had walked away. I think I went outside to smoke.
It's like we were saying the other day, Stallone, it's like sometimes you get a glance at him and you think he's just some idiot or some like
He's a
shit
genius.
actor.
He's a
He
genius.
truly is a
He's
genius.
brilliant.
He writes
Yeah.
all that, man. He's
But
he's
she was
full of
sitting
wisdom,
there,
that dude,
watching,
man.
like kind of paying attention, not really, while I was watching it. And then I went out, and he started training, right? And then the fight started, and I was still outside. And then I look in, and I see her on the edge of the couch, elbows on her knees. Again, tunnel vision at the TV.
That's
Come
awesome.
on, get him!
Yeah,
And she's not a
yeah.
fight person. She doesn't
Sure,
watch
yeah.
UFC with me. Rocky's not really her thing.
Yeah.
But that one, she was like everyone else watching a Rocky
Do you
movie.
guys think he could fix
That's cool to
Five
see
doing
kids
this?
doing that.
There's no reason to.
I'm just saying. Do you think he could?
And
fix...
how could you really
Has he-
fix it?
He hasn't done that with any of them, right?
No, he hasn't
just
done that
with
with
four.
anything.
This is
Yeah.
the first time he's done that.
I think that's gonna set a trend with other like.
Well, you know what it was? The Justice League set that trend. Fucking Zack Snyder
Yes.
set that trend.
Yeah, yeah.
Where they were like,
The
give us the
4-hour
Snyder
version?
cut.
Yeah.
And they actually did it, and it was fucking phenomenal.
Oh my god!
It was phenomenal. And then that's probably where Stallone got the idea of, you know what?
Made the first one.
I
look
have a lot
terrible.
of extra film.
I got stuff I can do with this one, and we could fix it and make it more of a real movie. Because it's
You could have made it longer.
when I talk about the Rocky franchise, I always say 2 is my favorite, then 1, then 4. But 4 is not a good movie. Is it fun? The most fun you'll have at a movie
Exactly.
maybe ever.
Most entertaining by
Absolutely
far. Yeah.
entertaining. I've watched it hundreds, and I'll still watch it
that's what I was
100
saying the
times
other day,
more
yeah.
before I'm dead. I'll never
Yeah,
not watch
yeah.
Rocky
It's
4.
the most watchable.
It's maybe for me the most rewatchable movie ever.
Yeah.
So far in my life, it has been.
Yeah.
5 is my second
But-
favorite,
but
and I
But like
don't
you,
really know why.
you're one of these people that 4 is my favorite, and I look at you and go, "Have you seen 1 and 2? Like, how can you put anything over 1 or 2? Like to me, it goes 1 or 2 depending on my day,
Yeah,
but typically 2 then 1. I love 2 because of the
think
end.
I think because of how the age that I was at the time, and the fact that like
You were
that
you
movie
were
was like
you were
the
5.
prime movie
You were 5.
for that. Yeah,
I
for
was
that
4.
age. And
So
it
you
just-
couldn't have been that primed into Rocky 4 at 5 years old.
Nah, I don't know.
It was
what
later
is.
in your teenage years at the shop with him, stuff like that. I'm telling you. Because
the bottom line
because
is
I've always
if
been
I
a
wanna be
Rocky fan.
entertained, it's going to be 4. That's why
absolutely.
it's my favorite.
But if I want to watch
know
a
what I
real
mean?
movie, I'm not going there at all. I'm
Yeah,
going 1, 2, or
one is
Balboa.
more dramatic and more
Like I was always a
perfected.
huge Rocky fan, but ever since me and this guy linked up, I think the both of us have become like these weird, rabid, kind of not obsessed, but like there's Rocky and then everything else in entertainment. I don't care whether it's music. If I had to get rid of everything entertainment
right.
and keep one thing, it would be the Rocky. I would get rid of all music, all video games, all movies, and just keep Rocky.
The video surface of us in the barbershop, the movie I'm watching on the
Is
couch
Rocky.
is Rocky 1.
yeah, at the
it's
one
Rocky.
over here.
Yeah.
That was fucking
Yeah,
2
yeah,
shops ago.
yeah.
That was 25 years ago.
Yeah, that was
I'm
late
watching
90s.
Rocky 1 in the late 90s.
Hard Knock Life was on the radio.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Watching Rocky
for
1,
real though.
And I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I tell you, who's the realest motherfucker
Yeah.
ever?
Well, immediately I'm watching the video. I go, of course, I commented. I go, of course, Rocky's in the background.
Yeah.
And
right.
again, that's what made me and Richie kind of click was our love for Rocky, because I'd go in the thing, and everyone's always nervous to talk to Richie, and I was too, as the guy who doesn't really know Richie, and he's a hot shot around here, and he's the
Yeah,
big
yeah.
barber,
That's
you
what
know.
they say,
But
yeah.
when Rocky was on, we would start talking, and we kind of had the same outlook on it. You know what I
Right.
mean? Where everyone was
Yeah.
like, "Fuck 5," me and Richie were like, "Fuck you, 5 is awesome."
Yeah, exactly.
And that kind of gave us a bond of something, and it opened that door for me to actually become a friend of Richie's.
right. It's like
5 was. I thought 5 was really
a bunch
good,
of
but I
nerds,
feel like it's
yeah.
cheesy, but it's not cheesy.
They're the
I
best.
love
But it was just
5,
different.
man.
5 is so good.
I'll
People
watch
put it
that
down.
100 times if it's on
5
TV.
is so
So good.
corny, but it's so
Because the
good.
Street Fighter is the greatest ever.
So good. The Street Fighter is like 20 minutes long, and it's so
Bro,
fucking
yeah.
good.
Tom.
Then I thought the last
Tommy's character.
last Creed was so good because it if you watch it, I mean, you have to, and you go through stuff in life personal. It hits home a little.
Yeah.
You know what
Creed
I mean?
2 is so good in that.
'Cause I remember
Did you
tearing up,
really
going,
you
dude.
watched Creed 2?
Which one was Creed 2?
The one with the did you watch any of the Creeds?
Yeah,
You
dude, I
did?
thought Creed was
How many creeds are there?
3,
2.
2. Balboa, Creed, and Creed
That's
2.
right. I didn't think
You
there was more than
fought
two
the Russian in
creeds.
Creed 2. I'm just
I think what was the last one? Creed 2.
yeah.
I think I watched that 50 times. I think that
Stop.
was so good.
Really?
Yeah, that's
50
what I'm
times?
saying. A lot.
Really?
I got
because I always thought because
get
it
it on the
literally
TV?
hit home. Like there's things that like the guy had cancer, dude. You know, like and like he had to fight cancer, and then like you know I guess. I don't know. It just hit. I mean, at one point, I remember tearing up and going, "Jesus, this is fucking deep, dude."
I never thought I would expect you to
because
watch
it was
that.
a story. It
You
was
said
like a
you watched
story.
Creed 2 50 times.
I did. I used to watch. I watched it a lot.
Okay.
That's
what?
I respect it because I
Was it on
love Creed
cable or
2.
something?
When it came out. No, when it first came out, I watched it like what was it on? You know, I would just keep watching it and watching it. I stayed up that whole. When I had the fucking
The box.
Yeah.
The Roku stick.
Yeah, because
or
I think
whatever.
it literally hit home like a lot of stuff. Like
Yeah.
it was like
I just think I wouldn't.
was
I can't
tearing up
picture
and I'm
you
going,
watching
holy
that
shit,
50
this is fucking
times.
deep, dude. He's having a conversation with him and shit.
The thing I like about Creed 2 is they dove into the other side of that whole adversity, and they gave you light into the Russian part. Like they gave you a glimpse into Drago's whole life.
But what was weird is that he's the villain, but they also make you feel bad for him.
Yeah.
I noticed that.
You know what I
That's
mean? Like you're supposed to be rooting against this guy, but if he wasn't
Yeah,
fighting
man.
Creed and fighting, one of Creed's
you like him.
adversaries, you'd be rooting for him.
Right.
You'd be like, this guy's a victim.
Yeah, the
Because well, then
characters
that
were
runs into
enlightened
like
in some way.
runs into like what you said from this past movie. It was like the country was the one that made the people.
Yeah.
Made it you shit, but he wasn't shit. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm
But
trying to say?
and that was the same with Drago and Ford. Like,
It's like America's movie.
Right.
he was being told everything you do, you're doing it for Russia. Everything, and Drago was like, "Fuck you! No, I'm not. This is for me."
Yeah.
It's like this isn't
Yeah.
for you. Like I mean, and it was kind of the same expectation once Drago became successful in Creed 2,
Yeah.
where they were like, "Oh, now welcome back."
Right.
And
right.
Drago, he looked weak there because he was so quick to be like, "Oh, take me back. I can't
He
wait to
wanted
come
be
back."
famous.
Huh.
Where
Yeah.
he should have been like, "Fuck you. We don't need you now." You
Right.
know what I mean? Like
Right.
I wish he would have done that. That would have made them better characters. The fact that he went and wanted their acceptance again, I was like, "Fuck that. Like fuck all them. They did you dirty."
I got a question for you, quick. How did you feel about Raging Bull? How do you compare the two? Even I know
Not
there's
even
only
close.
one, but
Not even close. Like Raging Bull to me is a good movie. I almost never go back to it. I hate that it's in black and white. And LaMotta kind of becomes annoying after a while. Like the character becomes very unlikable. Where it's like, why am I even watching this?
Is that the movie?
Like I hate this guy.
well, he was an asshole. It's based on a true
But
story.
that's
I mean,
my
that's a
point.
real
Like,
guy.
there was
like
nothing
his wife
likable.
Piece of
something
shit.
said that he's a handsome guy, and he fucking
He
made
loses
his
his mind.
point
What do you
to
mean
be-
he's handsome? And then he thought
made his
that
point to
she
wreck
was
his
fucking his
face.
brother. That seems great. You know, did you fuck my brother?
Yeah.
That whole shit. But again, it was
and he made his point to fucking. Fuck
I've
his
I've
face
watched
up
it
so bad.
maybe
He's not handsome.
maybe 2 or 3 times, and I have no feeling to ever go back to it. Like it doesn't grab me. I know it's up there as like one of the greatest movies ever,
That's what they say.
but for
yeah.
me, like it wasn't anything spectacular. You know what I mean?
it's a different kind of boxing movie.
Like
That's
I
a
would put The
fact.
Fighter over it.
Yeah,
The Mickey
yeah.
Ward movie. I like that
The
a million
Fighter's
times
great.
better than
What other big boxing movies out there? I'm trying to think. Like what?
What's
You
the
know-
one with
Not-
Jake
that-
Gyllenhaal?
Southpaw. It wasn't good though.
I like Southpaw.
I had
Oh,
such
yeah,
high
that
hopes
was
for that
alright.
when I saw the trailer.
It's good.
It
though.
disappointed me.
Is
It
he
disappointed
is he
me.
a homosexual fighter in that movie?
No, they
Nah.
His
what
girl
happens with
gets
his
killed
wife
in the
is really
beginning.
messed up, man.
Yeah.
Where's the one with Tom Hardy?
Warrior.
That's a good.
That's
freaking
a
movie.
MMA movie. That movie,
Come
I
on.
cried at that movie.
That was
That
real-
movie
real
fucking
quick.
Was Angle in that movie?
U-
Yeah, that was
UFC
fantastic.
UFC
Cobra.
268 was one of the best cards ever. There was every fight on that 268.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Kobe Covington
And
versus
Usman.
Usman. You had Rose versus Wei
Um,
Lee. You had Gaethje and Chandler.
Gaethje and Chandler.
What's the one you made me watch?
Gaethje and Chandler.
Gaethje and Chandler.
That was
And the fight
amazing.
after that too. I
Let's
forget
quick-
the 2 guys.
2
but
minutes. Let's talk about Gaethje and Chandler real quick.
Amazing. Amazing. It was
Man.
like Lawler and
Yeah.
Lawler and
It's what I
Rory
want.
Rory
Rory McDonald. It was
Yeah.
like that. It was just
It's what you want to see when you tune in.
I showed him
That's
that.
the fight
and
that you
and
wanna
you know what it
see.
is too, to get 2 veterans to fight like that. It's rare because they've already made it. They're kind of established.
No. I watched
Fights like
clips of
that
it
you
at the
get
end.
when you're a nobody because you got two nobodies hungry, looking to get noticed. That's
Correct.
why Mickey Ward and Arturo Gatti, that's why that whole thing blew up because they were just these guys on HBO boxing late night, not even prime time. It was late night boxing.
But when you do a display like that,
And the
people
first
notice.
fight,
Oh, yeah.
everybody noticed. They were like, how could you not when Gatti Ward won? That round 9, I don't care what you say, it's the best round in boxing history. Nothing, maybe Hagler Hearns comes close, but Gatti Ward round 9 is fucking, it's incredible.
That was
But
great.
that whole fight was like that, and they was slugging it out, and it was
and the whole
incredible.
trilogy was like that.
Non-stop.
It was incredible.
And it was Mickey's last fight against Gatti in the third
I'll talk
fight.
about the UFC again. But it's just incredible.
Yeah, the Gaethje channel.
Yeah,
It was
incredible.
amazing. It really was. You want fights like that to go 5 rounds. You hate when those are 3 rounds.
was good, though,
forget
that
about
it
it.
went
I
three.
know. It
Yeah.
sucks
Did,
that
all
it
right,
ends so
not fighting, but did you hear the Tyson thing that he died on and he came back to life on
No.
Toad's venom?
Is he fighting Logan Paul?
Toad venom?
What is that
Yeah.
about?
He's got his blunt wraps. They're Toad something. There's a Toad thing to it. I forget. I don't have the wrapper
He
anymore.
said he died and he came back to life.
Get
on
out of
Toad
here.
venom.
Really?
Toad-
Yeah, that guy. I'm infatuated with that guy's story,
you love
dude.
Mike Tyson.
Because it's just sometimes you just like
You love
like
him.
even when I said it was last week we were talking about it when he talks about fighting.
Yeah.
He's
No,
like
he's a
turned
warrior,
on, dude.
Yeah, he's a
fucking
warrior.
That's why I
lunatic.
think if he really fights Jake Paul,
Logan Paul.
well, whoever it is,
Logan, yeah.
this kid doesn't understand what
Dude,
he's doing. Like he's putting
Dude,
himself in
it's not an
harm's
act. He's
way.
not a good actor.
Yeah.
Like he's not acting. He's like, oh god, I
Yeah.
got like goosebumps. He's saying, and I'm like, holy
If-
shit,
if-
this guy's a lunatic.
If he fights Logan Paul and Logan Paul has his hands down and he springs up with one of those hits, he's gonna knock Logan Paul into next week. Seriously, like this guy has no
Did
idea
you see
what
this
he's
new
doing.
video? The speed and how fast.
Yeah,
he
look.
can
See,
get.
these are the wraps
This
I
is-
get. The Toad, Turpin, something. It's ripped off, but that's weird that you said Toad. See, blunt wrap the Toad.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why. Maybe he died smoking weed, and it's kind of a
Wow.
thing for his weed thing, as like
maybe
a
the
goof,
stuff-
as like a publicity thing, is what I mean. But yeah, back to Tyson. If I was watching just a video of him training yesterday or 2 days ago, and this kid doesn't understand what he's doing.
He
Like,
looks
you're-
like he's
you're
20.
not-
What if they wind up trolling him? You could
Is
set
he
this
the one
guy
that
off.
fought Floyd Mayweather?
Yeah. Yeah, he's not the wise ass one.
He's not the one that's
He's
gonna,
not Jake Paul. Jake Paul's the wise ass
Well,
one.
either way, both of them would be very wise to not do that with Mike Tyson.
They're gonna. You know that they're gonna. And if they do that, they're gonna open up something that they wish
He's
they
gonna
never
kill him
did.
at the press conference. Like he'll snap. He'll snap at the press. We won't get to
I don't
the fight.
want to. I don't want
You're
them to
not-
bring
he's
Mike
not,
back
he-
like that. I don't want them to do that to him.
They're not going to.
I think he's in too much of a good place
He came
to,
so
to
long.
go there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
but what if-
Exactly.
But what if they wait? Hold on. What
They're
if
not.
What if these guys bring Mike Tyson, the old Mike Tyson, out, and Mike Tyson loses his mind?
Well, that's what I'm hoping they
You
bring
see?
him out in the ring. Because in the ring, Logan Paul has never been hit. I don't give a fuck. You've never been hit the way Mike Tyson, 55, 56 Mike Tyson or not.
Yeah.
I've watched him train. A fresh Mike Tyson in the first 2 rounds will murder you just the way a fresh Mike Tyson would have 35 years ago.
Yeah.
No joke.
Listen, I just saw. I was flicking through the quickies on YouTube, like those little quick 1 minute things, and there was a clip of Mike Tyson having a conversation with the guy from Star Trek. The big name in Star Trek. I forget his name.
That was
Freaking,
the guy who went to space.
William Shatner?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. They're having an interview together.
Oh yeah, dude.
And Mike Tyson says that I don't like. He's like, it was really weird, man. He's saying something about the person that's in the ring versus Mike Tyson, of
Yeah.
who he is as a person, and he clearly says that he doesn't like fighting. He doesn't like
Because it
becoming
makes him
that
some-
person.
yeah, he
because
said that on
he
Rogan.
literally becomes someone else.
He said that
becomes a monster.
He said-
like,
No, that was with Sugar Ray.
Yeah.
I remember that was with Sugar Ray.
No, that one was
Sugar Ray
good,
Leonard.
dude. I actually meant to ask you guys if you ever seen that one.
The one with Sugar Ray?
No, the one.
Oh.
That one.
He's like, I feel like a bitch.
Yeah,
The one,
yeah.
The one, the one
William Shatner.
Because he looked
That's
up
a
to
great
Sugar Ray.
interview.
Regardless of weight
Great interview.
classes,
Yeah.
he looked up
They
to
were
Ray.
trying to joke up. Somebody else was trying to make a joke.
But that's the thing about this fight, and that's the thing these Paul brothers don't understand. Like, for them, this is a way to make money. It's another revenue stream. For Mike, it's life.
Yeah.
It's the reason he's alive today.
Absolutely.
It's the reason he's not in prison. And you're making a mockery out of the thing he loves most. And I want that Tyson to go in. I'm hoping that that's the mentality he has, because I want him to end this.
How
This-
old is he now, Tyson?
55 or I think 54 or
But if he
55.
just really hurts him really bad, this will stop.
It will stop. It will stop.
You think so?
The second that kid
Yeah.
gets knocked out,
Yeah.
because now he's going to realize, oh, that's a real boxer.
Yeah.
The thing with Floyd was a joke.
Yeah.
It was a
Is there-
glorified sparring match.
Which one?
The
Floyd
Jake
I
Paul,
can't
Logan
do it.
Paul
I
versus
can't
Floyd
do it.
Mayweather.
Floyd
Oh, yeah.
We-
They didn't
He's
box.
gotta know.
They
I
didn't
watched
throw.
me and him just watched the Floyd Mayweather versus Tenson, and that's fake.
Tokyo.
It's a
Oh,
fake.
yeah.
It wasn't. That was staged.
Yeah, I know. It
This
was like a
is-
wrestling match.
Yeah, this is not gonna be that. Like, this Mike Tyson thing could go really bad for this
When
kid.
Tyson throws a right hook into his ribs,
Oh, forget
and
it.
he feels that fucking hook in his ribs,
Oh
and
my God.
it's
Tyson delivers his whole back.
Yeah.
He
dude, you
puts
watch him
everything
and the
into
way he
that.
turns and the
Yeah,
quickness,
man.
and the quickness adds velocity, and his power with the velocity.
There's nothing like it.
And you still
Nothing
watch him,
like
and
it.
again, he's gray beard, gray hair,
Yeah.
not all gray, but a lot. And you watch him in these training videos, and you go, "That's the same guy from fucking 1988,
Yeah.
1987."
100%.
You know, you're gonna get him 3 to 5 minutes very strong like that. You know what I mean? Then
Yeah.
the age is
At
going to start
100%,
catching up.
yeah.
You know, but he's smart enough with a clown like this to carry him for 8 rounds or whatever it's going to be to
Yeah.
not lose this fight.
Of course.
But the first 2-3 rounds of that fight,
Ugh.
that motherfucker Paul better run his ass off.
That's the only thing he'll have is
Yeah.
hopping around,
And
getting
the
out of the
problem
way.
is, though, Mike knows how to cut you off. With that sidestep and that hop he does, he can cut you off real fast.
And Mike knows how to knock
Hey.
out taller opponents.
It's his
And-
specialty.
Oh, yeah, and that
All
guy,
day.
he's very tall. It's going to be very hard for him to block his whole body because he's tall like that.
Mhm.
Mike would make mincemeat out of tall people
And
like
this
that.
asshole's going to think my jab's going to keep him away from me,
No.
not realizing that's what Mike did his whole career.
Yeah.
He was 5'10", in a
His hook-
division
his hook
where
came
he
from
barely made weight to be a heavyweight fighter.
His hook
Yeah.
came from the palm of his foot.
Fucking
It was all
shoelaces.
the way, all the way.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
that's
All the way up.
crazy,
But
ain't it?
it came from that
Yo.
low, but it was so fast that you couldn't fucking see it. Anybody
Right.
else coming that low, you'll see it a mile away. But
Yeah.
Mike, when I
was-
watch videos of this guy, and he's a freak. He's a
Yeah,
freak of
yeah.
nature because the way he's built for speed and power. Like, that's what he is built for. It's
he transfers the energy through
Right.
his whole body and
Right.
just it's an explosion.
Like, you can't block it. He punches through your block.
even if you block it, it's still gonna hurt whatever
Yeah,
connects with.
absolutely.
You know, it's gonna hurt your
Absolutely.
arm. And
These guys should have stayed away from Mike Tyson. That's
yeah,
all
but
I'm saying.
you actually think, see, that you don't even know if it's like a work thing. You don't even know.
It could be. It could be.
You know,
it could be, but again, I don't see Mike making a joke of this sport. I just don't.
Yeah.
He
Never.
loves it too much.
Never.
He loves
Yeah.
it way too much, and I think he still has Gus, Angel Gus in his ear going, "This is the thing we love, Mike. You
Yeah.
know, don't make a joke out of it."
What
Yeah.
did, he
You know?
ever, did he ever say anything about them and say anything? Did he ever say anything?
He likes them. He
That's
does.
the problem. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
300 shows, he's still over here.
does he say?
It's amazing.
Does he?
He moves
pushes it
it.
away.
He pushes it away.
Does he say like? What does he say? If he likes him, he's gonna have pity on a guy.
No, he's not. It's a boxing match. Why would you have pity?
I
It's
don't
a
know.
full boxing match or a fucking
Yeah.
like we said. He
It's
said there's
supposed to be
knockouts and
an
shit.
exhibition.
No, I don't think it is an exhibition. Is it an exhibition?
All Jake Paul's
course.
fights, I think, are exhibitions, right? None of them count as
Yeah,
real
he's
fights.
not a pro boxer.
No, these
so.
are. It's like celebrity boxing, just a little bit, more real boxing.
We're like coming close to time, so whatever
All
we got
know.
here.
All we know. Mr.
No,
Shows
I'm just
up
saying.
late.
Let's see what we got here. If we're gonna spread our time out, if we got a couple things, let's get them on.
I do have a couple things, but let me see where we are on time.
There
You
you
want to
go.
show up 20 minutes late and then fucking tell us
There you go, bud.
we should end the show? How dare you? And we have a guest that's only here every so often.
How about it?
And I enjoy seeing my pal Pony, so you're not rushing me out of
I'm
here.
not rushing.
I don't
better know
understand.
what
You
you
guys
got.
are the boss of
48
the
minutes.
show.
Me and John did an hour and change last week.
I was going to say, why can't we just let this run for 2 hours? I mean, you guys
We
are the
used
boss.
to. We used to. Richie can't wait to leave. He
Unbelievable.
can't wait to leave. All right, here we go. An Austrian brothel offers free 30-minute session if you get the vaccine.
What?
It's a you get you get a sexy nurse scenario, and you could be 14 years and older if you're accompanied by an adult.
Oh,
And women are encouraged as well.
I
In
wish
America?
my dad-
Austria.
I wish my mom
Austria.
was alive. She could take me to that.
That's where
Makes sense, Austria.
where's
Schwarzenegger? Yeah, Arnold
is
from there.
Amsterdam its own country
Amsterdam
or is it a
part
city
Of,
in something
Amsterdam is a part of
like Holland
Norway?
and places like that, right?
I think so.
Rich, don't
yeah.
make like you thinking either, because you have no fucking clue.
Because that's where the red light district is, so that's why I
Right,
bring that
yeah,
up.
Amsterdam, right?
Austria is not near Amsterdam.
The Netherlands.
Yeah.
It's in the Netherlands. That's what it is.
But yeah, that's a.
Austria is like
Out of
right
all the
under
ways I've
Germany.
heard to get people to get the vax, I feel like that's gonna get a lot of dudes to
I'd
get the
get
vax.
it like 6 times.
That'd be a
Of course
deal
you would.
breaker.
Of course you would. But all right, we got that. Got any Disney? You're a Disney guy, I bet, right? You watch Disney movies. You got 2 girls.
I just came from Florida. I just went to Disney World.
All right. The Seven Dwarves. I'm watching it. First Disney film of all time. Could have make or break the company. Watching the film. Seven Dwarves, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do they do for work? Do you remember?
I have no idea. I
All right,
forgot.
They're minors.
They built something. Yeah.
They're
or
minors.
something, Yeah.
Their house, they all live in one room upstairs. 7 beds, 1 room. A little shithole in the middle of the woods. These motherfuckers are mining diamonds, rubies. These jewels, I mean, they're the size of your fist. And I'm like, why are they
They're
so
basically
broke?
Mexicans.
What the fuck? What is going on? I'm not
Right.
kidding. I'm watching this movie the other night.
Aliens.
And I'm like,
Right,
they have
right.
a wheelbarrow full of jewels. I'm going, why the fuck are these guys so fucking broke? They live in a
stockpiling.
shit house, and who are they selling them to?
Right.
It's the craziest shit ever. I just notice little things like that in movies sometimes. It drives me nuts. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then one of your favorites, and probably one of yours, watching it during the Halloween thing. I forgot to bring this up. Nightmare 3. Huge fan, right? Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
Oh, yeah.
I know Richie's a huge
Absolutely.
fan. Might even be your favorite, correct?
Yeah.
No,
that
it's
is.
not my favorite, but it's
What's your favorite?
3's the Warriors, right?
Yeah, Dream
Yeah, it's
Warriors.
the best one.
I mean, I like
A lot of people
like,
say that.
I like the
Yeah.
first one, but I love 3 and I love 4. You
4
know.
is my favorite. It's not good,
3's my
but it's my
favorite,
favorite.
for sure.
Yeah.
You know what though? The Nightmare collectively, none of them except maybe the first one and New Nightmare are good movies. They're enjoyable. They're
No,
fun.
you're absolutely
But
right.
the acting, I
They're
mean, even for
cheesy as
horror
hell.
movies, the
Yeah.
acting is bad. Like Alice in fucking 4. Oh God, is she bad? She's just
Terrible.
reading a fucking script.
Yeah.
But in part 3, the kid I hate the most. Actually, I hate that
What,
one.
the Dungeons and Dragons kid?
Oh, I hate him so much.
I
I'm a wizard. Look
Yeah.
at me. I'm a wizard.
Oh, that
You
was
hate
That
terrible.
whole scene. I want them all dead
Terrible.
next. The Kincaid where he bends the chair. It's like, dude, you're fat.
Yeah.
Like, why are we pretending like he's some powerhouse?
I wanna-
Like, they
I would-
couldn't have got a kid in shape for that
I
role?
know, yeah.
I would fuck Taryn though.
Oh, the drug addict?
Yeah.
Of course you would. That's
The
Richie's
dream
fucking.
girl.
That's Richie's fucking
Oh, that's my
style
dream
right
Why
wife.
there.
was in the movie? Well, was she like? Is it an actress? Like you would know?
Nah.
Track,
Hey,
track marks
how'd
and a
you,
nod. Rich is in.
Yeah, young man, definitely.
Rock, how'd you feel about the 40-year anniversary, the 2 new Halloweens, Halloween and Halloween Kills?
Love them both.
They were great,
Love them
weren't
both.
they?
A lot of people hated Kills. A lot of people did not like the
You know-
second one.
But you know what's crazy, man? Like those first 2 Halloween movies, there's no blood, there's no
In
gore,
the
there's
original.
no slashing. Right.
No, in the second
In
one,
this
no.
one-
The second one, there's a lot.
Yeah.
The first
But
one,
the
there's
first
almost
one, there's
nothing.
nothing.
I
Yeah.
wonder why.
Dude, the 2 new
What do you mean?
ones.
Why didn't they just? Why wasn't there?
In the original, because
Carpenter was trying to do
it was
something
more
kinda
suspense.
like
It-
Psycho, you know.
yeah,
It was
and he
about-
succeeded.
It's about the
because
feel of the
when you
yeah, the
talk
fear.
about horror movies, Halloween comes up
all the
in
time.
every
Yeah.
It's almost
a
impossible
cult
not to
classic.
because it
Yeah.
started the '80s boom of slashers.
Yeah.
Without Halloween, we don't have Jason. We don't have probably
Yeah.
Freddy.
What would you feel like without the? I feel when I think I would. I think it's better off without all that plot because it's just over. You know what I mean?
I mean, sometimes
Some
I'm into
probably
a
throw
gore
it in there.
fest.
A lot of
you
the
know,
directors who
but
direct
sometimes
horror,
not.
when they don't show the gore head on, or the Blair Witch guys, they all say the same thing. what you can create in your own head
Right.
is worse than anything we can show you on film.
Right.
And that's why the Blair Witch worked, because you never saw the witch.
Yeah.
And in your head, you're creating this horrific, horrible. What was
Sure.
your version of the Blair Witch?
Yeah.
What,
What
did she look like in your head?
I mean, honestly, I thought like almost like no face, maybe like a black cloak or something, but either way, it made you kind of look over your shoulder like that. It was a brilliant film, it worked.
The way the woman described her, but with the black cloak. Remember they talked to that crazy woman? She's like, I saw a woman with all fur, but fur like a horse.
Yeah.
And that's the way, but with her arms like this and her knees bent and like horrible posture and big nose, dark gray and black hair with the cloak though. Also, you know what I mean? But not human, not completely human like. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like something is off as far as being human. That was my image of it. But that's the point though. When it comes to horror, sometimes less is more. Paranormal Activity, again, you don't see any blood. You don't see. It's all suspense. And that movie fucking scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, but again, like I said, I'm into a gore fest on occasion. I love torture porn.
I'm a huge gore hound. That's my favorite thing about horror is the gore. Yeah. You actually need to make a retraction on the show, and you owe me an apology.
About what now?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
What do you mean? What about it?
You kind of shitted on it last time you were here, and then rewatched it almost immediately when you went back to Pennsylvania. And I got a message, but I want it on the air so everybody who saw you shit on it and kind of make me look like a nutbag for loving this movie.
Okay, so listen, I'm gonna be fair. Okay, now, I don't think I shitted on it, but I just had some feelings towards it. Like I wasn't really sure how I felt about it.
Ill will feeling.
When I rewatched that movie, man, that movie is incredible by far, and. With all due respect, I apologize.
Now, where do you rank it in the Tarantino verse? Now that you've had this, awakening.
I think it's probably one of his best films of the last 4 films.
Which is the best film?
What's his?
I love Pulp Fiction.
All right, so Pulp. I think
love Pulp Fiction.
Most people, I think, are gonna say when it comes to Quentin,
Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill.
Kill Bill, really? I don't think so.
A lot of people love Kill Bill.
I think they like it, but for the same reason you like Rocky 4.
No,
Kill Bill 2 is way better than 1, in my opinion.
The both of them are just incredible.
Reservoir Dogs is I think I've watched that movie more than any other.
And Mr. Blonde is one of my favorite villains ever.
There's a drag
I
in
just love
Reservoir Dogs, though, a little bit.
No,
but I love
there's
that
not.
drag.
I know,
but
but
I don't know
still a
why.
drag.
Bro, the movie's about conversations. It's about being in trouble.
Richie needs a little bit of action in between. You know what I mean?
well,
He can't have
Tarantino-
straight convo for an hour.
The part is soon as
Tarantino's allowed to drag.
no, I
He
know, but
knows how to drag.
as soon as it goes into the part where
He's
is
the
a cop,
and they started. But the scene in the bathroom, I love that scene. Buddy,
Yes.
I will shoot you
I
in the
know.
fucking face.
Yeah,
No, I
that
know,
scene
but
had to happen.
And
Yeah,
he's
no.
got the weed on him. Even though
Yeah.
you know it's a bullshit story, it was still very tense.
Yeah.
And you know it's not a real story, and it was
Yeah.
still tense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Listen, Leonardo in that movie is one of the best Leonardos
best
I've
role.
ever seen in my life.
It's his best role.
Do you understand
Best
what I
role.
just said
No.
in English? I
No,
spoke
'cause
in English,
yeah.
a language that you understand. And what I just said was literally one of his best performances
What would you put
I've
over
ever
it?
seen. The only thing I
Wolf
put
of Wall
close to
Street?
it is honestly The Wolf, yeah.
What about The Revenant? How'd you feel about that?
I felt like it was overrated.
I feel like he got more props just for what he went through filming it than the movie was worth. You know, like
Yeah, I like Tom Hardy more in that movie, honestly.
Tom Hardy to me is one of the best up and coming. Not up and coming. He's been around for a while
there.
now, but
He's there.
I feel like he's going to be that guy to fill the shoes of, maybe Leo when he kind of bows out or stops doing a little. He's got a new movie coming out, Leo, on Netflix. I just watched the trailer. It's Adam McKay, the same guy who does Step Brothers. He did Vice. He did.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be great.
What was the other one he did? That
who's Randy?
It's gonna be great.
Wharton.
Who's Randy?
I don't know.
But real quick, back to Reservoir Dogs. One of my favorite parts of that movie, and it's such a subtle thing, is when Mr. Blonde's torturing the cop, and the cop's, giving his whole spiel, and he just looks at him and goes, "You finished?" You done? And then he's like, and it just goes back to doing, but like that little evilness of like, say whatever the fuck you want. Like it doesn't matter.
This is gonna happen.
It's happening.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you plead all you want, and the way he just dismisses everything that guy said. That guy
Yeah.
pleads everything. He just looks at him and goes, "You finished? You done?" Okay.
Oh.
And just goes back to doing
Yeah.
whatever the fuck he was
Yeah,
gonna do.
yeah.
I think that's when he cuts
Those
his ear
little
off.
Things. Yeah, those little things.
We were talking. Well,
cough up a bucket, you bastard.
Leonardo and fucking what's his name were at a party, right? What was that dude?
Oh, Jeff Bezos.
Yes,
You saw
I
that?
heard about him stealing the girl and his.
Well,
girl,
no, he could have, but Leo shoved the girl off. He was like, "I gotta get out of here." The girl was smitten. Like
Yeah.
you see this
you
girl.
can see it dripping, dude.
Oh my god.
I seen that she just just drops everything.
And you know what's so awesome about that? Like Leo's obviously very well off, but he's not Bezos well off.
No.
You know what I mean? And you look at that and you go, no matter how rich you are,
Yeah.
if you're Leonardo DiCaprio, you're Brad Pitt, it doesn't matter what your bank account looks like.
Yeah.
Sure.
These dudes
Yeah.
are gonna take your bitch no matter what.
You can have
Yeah.
you can have
They're
a
that
mangled
dude.
dick and be
They're
like
that
fun.
dude.
Yeah.
You don't care.
And I bet you
don't care.
honestly, if Leo wasn't even famous like that anymore right now, he just seems like a smooth.
Yeah, he can talk.
You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah, he's that dude.
because he's brilliant. He's not a dumb guy. Like
I
people
know.
don't realize that
Smart
about him.
guy.
He's
Smart
very
guy.
smart. He's done college and all
smart
that
guy.
shit. He's a brilliant fucking person.
Catch Me If You Can. Sorry, I should throw that.
It's
out
one of
there.
my favorite hits.
Yeah, that's also.
It's
that's
actually one of the
big.
few movies of his I actually like.
Yeah, that's a big one.
I like that. Basketball Diaries.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, really quick, also just to jump back, Pitt is not overlooked though in that
No.
movie, which I love also.
No, I think they're both equal
Yes,
as far as
very much
what
so.
they do, and they
Very
both
much so.
they both do huge leaps and bounds as far as what their character is doing. Like they're not just one note. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Leo, 1 minute is happy and to the moon, and then the next he's depressed and fucking suicidal. Then the
Amazing.
next he's fucking neurotic, and
Yeah.
he runs the gamut of emotion. He shows you an acting fucking class. Like he really does. And Brad Pitt kind of does the same thing, except he's a little bit more laid back and reserved.
Yeah.
But again,
no.
that's one of my favorite roles of his.
Yeah,
Cliff
but-
is fucking amazing. It's the scene at Spawn Ranch when he walks back and his tire's flat.
Yeah,
and he
dude,
just
that
looks
was
at him and goes,
great.
"Fix it." And the guy's
Yeah.
like, "Fuck you." He goes,
Yeah.
"Yeah." Bam!
Yeah.
Smashes his face and goes, "Fix it."
Yep.
That part is fucking awesome. All the girls
Yeah,
start walking
yeah.
over and he just goes, "You take another step, I'm gonna break his fucking face."
But now,
Ugh.
you know, Brad Pitt is not just a pretty face, man. Like he's done some stuff too. Remember California?
Oh,
when he
David
was the
Duchovny.
serial killer.
That's so good.
That was a
And
Pitt, man.
what's it? 12 Monkeys. Another
How do
great
you feel
actor.
about
great Brad.
that
how do
movie
you feel
kinda
about
sucks,
the guy
though.
who plays fucking what is it fucking
Fight Club.
no, he's fucking with the what's it, the superhero guy, Liam something, whatever the fuck his name is. He's playing like Hulk Hogan.
Oh, Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, how do you feel as an actor?
As a real actor, he's not that good. He could do comedy pretty well.
What?
Are you talking about Thor?
Why?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, Thor's great. I like him.
He's not a good actor, though.
Nah, he's straight face.
Yo,
you know, I mean,
fuck. Well, if you had the fuck, marry, kill, Brad Pitt, that guy, fucking
Oh, I'd marry Brad Pitt easily.
Brad Pitt,
Easily.
Leonardo, or whatever the guy's name is, Chris Hemsworth, or whatever.
All right, I'm fucking Hemsworth. I'm killing Leo, and I'm marrying Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt just seems like such a down-to-earth guy, you know?
Yep.
Also, real quick about that scene with Spawn Ranch. I love how it was super lighthearted. The drive there is kind of awkward because she wants to blow him, and he's like, "Yeah, right. Let me see your license." Again, but it's like, I know it's a weird scene, but
Yeah.
again, it's lighthearted. It's fun.
yeah,
Then when he gets to Spawn Ranch, it very slowly becomes very creepy.
very tense
And very like, what the
tense.
fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
And he is the same way, like we are as a viewer, where he's like, what the fuck is going on here? And then when he
Yeah,
goes to
yeah,
see
yeah.
the guy, you're like, what the fuck? Or like, what's he gonna come out to now? You know?
real,
And he
yeah.
doesn't really come out to anything.
Nothing,
But
yeah.
the way Tarantino built that, it was
Yes.
amazing. Like a lot of
Yeah,
people watch
brilliant.
that movie and they say to me, "What's it about?" And I look at them and I go, first of all, it's about DiCaprio, but yeah. But it doesn't have to be
story.
about like something specific. But if you really want to break it down, it's about
Charles
DiCaprio
Manson, sort of.
being a washed-up actor and
Right.
looking for a big break. Cliff
Right.
Booth being on the verge of fucking homelessness, you know. And if it wasn't for DiCaprio, he would be probably homeless.
I love his loyalty in that movie.
Like the Margot Robbie stuff, I get why it's there because you want that whole. Without that, the ending doesn't work.
Well, she's the Sharon Tate. She's
Yeah.
she's the fill-in for that. She's great, by the way. I love her. I love watching her. Not just because she's gorgeous. I
No,
think
she
she's
is good.
She's all right.
And she shows a lot of range from Wolf of Wall Street to Harley to what was the other one I liked her in? The ice skating one. Tanya Harding.
Oh, she was fantastic in that.
Yeah.
That was a great movie.
Yeah, but
that was great.
Yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, it might be my number one Tarantino.
And, I love how. Remember at the end of Inglourious Bastards?
Yeah.
How Tarantino just had fun with that. He just literally just made up some ridiculous way that Hitler was murdered.
Didn't that one also open Once Upon a Time in France? Like, wasn't there a Once Upon a Time thing in the beginning of that as well?
I think so. One of them, yeah, he's done that before for sure. But really quick though, if you think in Hollywood, he did the same thing. Like he turned a true story, Charles Manson, whatever. Like he took that story and he played with the end of it.
What was great though, before anyone saw it, when we first went to see it, he kept it such a secret. What the end and everything about it. And you had this sense of dread watching this movie the whole time as the first time viewer going, fuck, I know this is coming.
Mm-hmm.
Like Sharon Tate, it's 69, it's the summer. I know it's coming. And then the scene plays out the way it does.
Sure.
And not only is it one of the most funniest fucking scenes ever,
so great.
It's one of the most violent
absolutely.
scenes ever. And you're crying, laughing through this violence. And no one can do that except Quentin. Like,
Brad Pitt's dog is awesome.
I want a dog like that.
He was that dog was on
He literally
point.
just clicks,
Yeah.
and that fucking dog makes moves. That dog is amazing. Hold on, I wanted to see real quick. Which one we just talking? Inglorious, right? I want to see if it does open that way. I have it right here, real fast before we get out of here. While we're doing that, Channel Attitude, of course. Head over to Channel Attitude and subscribe. It's different levels of subscriptions and stuff like that. I don't think we're free anymore either. Like I went on there. You remember how we used to be free on the brand?
Yeah.
On there, there's no free section that I saw. So I think now we're part of a paid service there.
Give me my money.
Yeah, well, And then so Channel Attitude. Let's see.
You better step it up a little, Rich, if you want to.
Chapter 1, Once Upon a Time in Nazi-occupied France. Yeah, see?
Yeah,
So
look
when
at
he
that.
does that
Right.
Once Upon a Time thing, he's telling you,
Yeah.
I'm changing history. Like, I'm
Yeah.
doing something here. It's a fairy tale now. It's my version of it.
Is that Elf?
That's
Yeah.
awesome, man.
Like that, right?
Yeah. I thought it was the only horror character.
For October. Now,
Yeah.
for the holidays, I have Buddy the Elf.
Wow.
I just explained this cup, Rich.
Yeah,
it sucks
you
because
just told the whole story.
you have to drink it weird like this,
Right.
unless you have a straw.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
That thing is fantastic. Let me see his face. Ah!
Yeah. There's this company, Tiki something, and they make all these like pop culture tiki mugs.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
that's
Yeah.
great.
I enjoy them. So, what were we saying?
Oh,
All right.
I went to when I went to Florida just now. My birthday. I had a great birthday.
Happy birthday, pal.
They took me to for the first time ever. I went to Halloween Horror Nights.
Oh, you
Universal
went?
Studios.
How awesome was that?
Let me. Oh, dude,
What were the
it
attractions?
was amazing. There was like 15 of them.
Yeah, but
There
what
was so
movies? Like,
many.
because it's movies. What movies were there?
There was one. There was a ghost movie. They're not like.
No,
There's a Beetlejuice.
was the
There's an
Conjuring.
Exorcist version. There was a Conjuring
Is House of a
version.
Thousand Corpses still there?
No, I don't
No?
think so. I don't. We didn't hit them all. We hit like
There was a
9 of them,
Halloween
though.
one, right? A Halloween 4 or 5.
I think so.
Yeah.
A lot of them weren't themed though.
Were there a
Even
lot
though-
of actors in the walk itself?
Yes, this time, yes. I heard that sometimes there isn't, but when I went through, they were all over the place. The place was just stacked.
Yeah.
I got a bunch of footage, man. I
I'm
keep
dying to
forgetting
do
put it
that.
up.
Dying to do that.
Dude, that
so bad.
When it comes to Halloween, forget about all these little like mom and pop attractions.
Dude, we went to Bayville, me
It's
and
the best.
my daughter, and this one has 6 different attractions, right? I've been there before, like 10, 15 years ago. Great.
Yeah.
Awesome time. We went this time. You could literally walk through these things and not have one thing happen. Like there was no actors almost. If there was,
because there's no volunteers. That's
well,
what
that
sucks.
and I was wondering if it was COVID also. But I'm like, how do you sit there then and still run this thing?
Didn't
Because
that place get in trouble because they were stealing fucking like pickpocketing people?
probably the crowd wasn't the most desirable.
That's what I heard. Bayville.
But we were walking through, and there was literally, if maybe 3 actors were the most in one of the walks, and the walks were
that
like
sucks, man.
decent, where it takes you 5 to 10 minutes to walk
Yeah,
through.
yeah.
But now you're just walking past displays. Like there was nothing
Yeah.
jumping out.
And
There's
how much was the ticket to
I
get?
paid
You
100 and
you should send one up next year.
125 for the 2 of us.
And there's fucking
Yeah.
Crazy.
And
Have,
then the
like,
one
3
that had the
people try-
line, there was one that had a line, and we waited probably an hour on this line. I was like, this one's got to be good. Maybe they have all the actors in this one.
Right.
Again, no actors. Like cool
Yeah.
setups and shit, monsters and statues and whatever, but no actors. And that's what scares you because they're the ones that jump out and
Sure. Yeah. Grab you and stuff.
so disappointed.
My mom volunteers at a haunted attraction out there in PA. It's called Field of Screams.
They probably have. I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's
I've
pretty
heard
popular.
of that. Yeah.
It's like $50 to get in, fair price, semi-expensive, and if that
They do a hayride and a
everybody's
walk, right?
volunteer. Yes.
Yeah.
The hayride's cool. It's all volunteers. There's no paid actors.
Yeah.
So they try to motivate them, and they try to throw out little trophies, or they'll do like a ball where people get together and share food or whatever. But what it really comes down to is people are passionate about that type of work, so they
Yeah.
volunteer. But if that season, if you don't have volunteers, the attractions are going to suck.
Yeah, I'm telling you, we were walking
You
through
know?
these things. One of them had, on the outside, had it like an Egyptian tomb type of theme. On the inside, literally nothing Egyptian whatsoever. There was one mummy by the end. Like we walked out, and there was one mummy that you can kind of see off in the distance. I'm like, what the fuck? There was 2 more that we still had to do.
All right, man.
And I looked at Anna, and I'm like, you want to just get the fuck out of here? I'm like, this is terrible. I felt so bad because every year me and her try to do something very Halloweenish together, and that just fucking blew a bag of dicks. Next year we're going to do Schmidt's Farm. You ever been to Schmidt's
What
Farm?
about Salem?
Going all the way out there?
Yes?
No, have you ever did that? or
No, no.
I heard it's really good.
Large goes every year.
We're going to Salem, Mass?
Yeah. Large and
Cool.
Dennis McCoy's ex-wife went with them this year.
It's not
You
far.
know,
from
Lauren?
us.
I heard it's really good.
Yeah, they was posting all this shit on Instagram. It's awesome.
It's
They
not
throw
a far drive.
no, it's like
Not
6
far.
It's like
hours.
a big parade,
Yeah.
big like
Oh, yeah.
It's huge down there. It's
A lot of
gigantic down there.
history there.
So much.
So like wherever like Halloween is missing from everywhere, everybody's going there now because Halloween's gone now. Like there's no
Yeah.
such thing as Halloween anymore.
No, the Salem thing though, and it keeps getting more traction every year. Like every year, I see more and more people making the trek out there to go do it.
Yeah, we
It's
gotta
supposed to
go.
be great. I
We
want to
gotta
do
go
it.
sometime.
Jess isn't a huge Halloween person though.
No?
So, like she doesn't do the walks.
I
During
always
October,
love
she's
Halloween,
forced to watch horror. Otherwise, she doesn't want to. When horror movies come out in the theater, I go with Anna. Jess doesn't come.
Do they?
Anna's my horror #horror homie. She's not into it at all. She actually doesn't like it at all. It's the one thing that she's pretty firm about. Like everything else, she deals and tolerates my bullshit, and will do the things I like to do, and with a smile on her face.
Right.
Horror, that's the one thing where she's like, fuck that. So, but luckily I have Anna, and we do all that shit together. So,
Did you guys use some?
That's good.
we want to do the Blair Witch Woods.
Maybe
they do a
'cause,
thing out there where you can camp out, watch the movie, and go ahead. Sorry,
what's
John.
the word?
Scary, man.
Maybe like she's scarred from like something that happened. Because I was telling him like I hate Halloween.
Yeah.
They used to come around with throwing bags of shit at you and stuff.
See, there's just something about horror movies from. Even as a young kid, I was just drawn to it. I couldn't wait.
Dude, you
To
just
see-
drive around and
honestly,
throw shit at you.
For me, it's
Come
my
on, bro.
mother's fault. My mother, both my parents worked the wheel, man. They worked crazy hours, and I remember when I was a kid, my mom would stick me in front of a horror movie because she knew it got my attention, and I would just be stuck on.
Well,
the
because as a
TV
kid,
screen,
you're like, "What the
critters.
fuck is this?"
Yeah,
Like,
all
and
these
people are getting
ridiculous
killed. And
horror
in the
movies.
'80s, there was great practical effects, blood everywhere,
Man.
and as a little kid, you're going, I know I shouldn't be watching this, and it's so awesome that I am. Because now, see, that's the thing. I was never really scared from any of them. I really
Never
wasn't.
scared.
And the best part was going into school and telling all your friends, I saw Friday the 13th, and all of them were like, what? Your mom let you?
yeah.
Your mom let you?
You weren't scared? I actually masturbated
5,
to it.
6, 7, and that shit. You have there's a thrill to those scary movies that you come to like.
Yeah, I'm telling
Absolutely.
you,
It's
the first
entertaining,
time,
though. It's not scary.
the first time I got truly scared from a movie was Blair
Exorcist.
Witch.
Okay.
16 years old.
Fair enough.
But again, everyone needs to remember, for the people listening or whatever watching, when the Blair Witch first came out, the internet was new. They did this whole website that made it seem legit. Sci-Fi did a special that made it seem legit. There was newsreels. There was all this shit
you were worked,
that made
man.
it seem
You were
legit.
worked.
I thought it was
And
real footage.
the
at
first
first.
couple weeks of the movie, everyone was like, "Is it real?" They didn't definitively say no, it's a movie, you know. So
Until
you
they came out.
It was the first time you've ever
well,
seen that.
yeah, but it took a couple weeks. Like there was
Yeah,
a
oh,
couple
yeah,
weeks
yeah.
there where they wouldn't say this is a
Right.
movie. And when I went into that movie, I smoked the biggest blunt to my head.
Oh,
16 years
forget it.
old. I've been camping. I know what it's like to go out in the woods and just wander. You know, me and my friends
Sure,
used to do
yeah.
it. So I watched that movie and I got so drawn into it.
Yeah, it does.
The way they build it, where the first night you just hear the trees cracking, then the
Oh,
second night
forget
the
it.
rocks are there, then
Yep.
the third night the tent's shaking and they run out. By that point, I'm telling you, I was like this in the theater.
Yeah.
I've never
yeah,
been
yeah.
scared like that watching a movie ever. The only thing that came close to it but didn't scare me like that was Paranormal. Like
Okay,
Paranormal had
okay.
me tense, like on the edge of my seat, but it didn't have me like Blair Witch. Blair Witch still, I watch it,
Do
I
you
still
remember
get a
American
weird
Werewolf
feeling.
in London?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Were you guys
of course.
scared of that?
No.
The
Freddy
in-
freaked me out
the
the
intro
first time I
scene.
watched
The
it.
intro scene
Yo,
of that.
Sinister. The first time I ever watched
Really?
Sinister, I was like, wow, this.
And you
this,
were in your 30s at this time.
Sinister
Yeah,
was
but
good.
it was just like, wow,
Sinister
this is a
was good.
creepy fucking movie.
Those
man.
videos that he watches.
It's so
And, oh my
fucked
god.
up, man. And I'm
To-
watching them. All the lights are off, and I'm just like, wow, this is really fucking
The
scary.
funny story about American Werewolf, I watched it not too long ago with Anna, right?
Classic.
We always watch, movies that she needs to watch as far as horror goes.
Correct.
I'll always, we'll come down here. I go, all right, you need to watch the one of the dead. Let's
Necessity.
watch it.
Correct. This is
So,
a duty.
I
Okay.
put on American Werewolf. Now I'm not that well versed in this movie. I've maybe watched it once. I'm not the biggest fan. I appreciate the effects. Give it all
Award-winning.
the props it deserves. And we're watching it, and then the end comes on, and I completely forgot that the whole last 15 minutes is in a porno movie theater. So now I'm sitting here with my daughter, where the last fucking 15, 20 minutes of this movie is some
Yeah,
girl
that's
getting
right.
pounded out in
That's
between the
right.
werewolf, and I'm like, oh my god, please just end or get out of the
Yeah.
porno theater, because you don't want to watch it like that,
Yeah.
especially with your
Yeah.
daughter.
Yeah,
Like
of course,
fucking
of course.
people just fucking, and it's a porno theater, so it's very
Yeah.
fuck me,
yeah.
and I'm like, oh my god, I was
It's
like, how did I not remember this was in this movie? Like, and it's so
Yeah.
long and it never ends, and I'm like sitting there so awkward. I'm like, please just
That's
fucking.
what I'm saying. You like
and-
that's what was my point.
Yeah.
You like going to the movie. I watched fucking like Freddy, and you're like, really? You weren't scared? No, I jerked off to it. I never did. I'm just saying.
So you know what's
There's
funny,
always
though?
a tit in the movie. You like beating off.
Like in that moment, I felt so awkward watching that movie with Anna. But then watching something like Boogie Nights, I'd have zero awkwardness because
Yeah.
I think it's the way Boogie Nights
Nights
is.
is
Like
a
Jess
classic.
always goes, she's like, it's a porno. How you can't? I'm like, it's not a porno. I'm like, for one, there's, 3 sex scenes maybe?
Yeah, not much.
Is there any
You know.
C shots in that
Who
movie?
directs that one? I forget.
Paul Thomas Anderson.
He's amazing. That
But
dude.
and
He
I
puts
mean,
out some work.
the
Boy.
only real sex scene is the first Mark Wahlberg and What's Her Face. Everything else
Yeah.
is quick, like 10, 20 seconds. What's Her Face in the driveway, and right before 1980. It's quick. But she looks at that movie like it's this graphic, pornographic, and I'm like, it's really not though.
No,
She
it's
loves
not.
the movie. She's not putting it down.
Right.
But I always say, we should watch it with Anna. And, she needs to watch that movie. It's a great movie. It's quotable. She's like, I'm not watching that with her. It's a porno. I'm like, it's not a porno.
Hey, really quick, Rock. You ever seen Eraserhead?
I tried to watch it.
So you didn't finish it then?
No. David Lynch, not the biggest fan of him.
Yeah, but
he's
I mean-
too weird for me. Like when you get like,
He is.
and
But,
it's like he's trying too hard to be weird at some points where I'm like, I can't even get into this.
well, I mean, there's a backstory to Eraserhead. Apparently,
I think I
it's a
borrowed it from you.
nightmare. Possibly, I
I'm
had
pretty
a
sure I
copy years
did.
ago. But it's it's his nightmare. It's a nightmare that a recurring one that he had,
Yeah.
and he tried putting it in film. I wouldn't say scary, but it's things like that.
Like, do you like Twin
that-
Peaks?
That tweak me out, you know.
You like Twin Peaks
What, the TV show?
or the movie?
I can't speak on that, man. I don't think I watched it enough to really know.
See, that was him
No.
too. He's big for that. He's big for a
Yeah.
bunch of stuff, but it's
Yeah,
just
he's done a
his
few things.
like I'm not
He did Dune, didn't he?
the original maybe.
What, Doom with the Rock?
No, the original
Oh.
Dune.
Oh.
I don't
Like, that
think so
movie
though.
sucked.
Maybe I don't know though.
This one he did
But
Dune.
I
Did you see
don't.
the Dune remake?
No, I have no interest. Zero.
Bro, the Dune remake is crazy.
I'm not a sci-fi
man.
guy. Hate science fiction.
Oh man, it's
Hate
so
it.
good. So what? You don't like Space Odyssey?
No, that movie was a boring pile of shit in my opinion.
Oh,
Stanley Kubrick to
man.
me is the most overrated director of all time.
I can't believe you just said that.
The only movie of his I've ever enjoyed was Clockwork Orange, and even that drags pretty heavy in some parts.
Bro, he's a master of his craft.
Awful.
Man. He's
The Shining
amazing.
is an unwatchable, boring pile of shit.
What?
Full Metal Jacket. I hate
Full
it.
Metal Jacket is a classic.
Full Metal Jacket
Every
falls
movie he
apart
made
after
was a
they
classic.
once they go to Vietnam and Pyle's dead. Unwatchable.
What?
What else? Doctor Strangelove. I've never watched it.
To each his own. What are you gonna do?
Eyes Wide Shut. Another one. I was like, nah. But he didn't finish that one. So
Some people like chocolate. Some people like
that's
something
it.
else.
That's it. Yeah, I'm not a fan of him. No, I'm not a fan at all. All right,
My
that's it
ass
for
is
us,
hurt.
guys.
Thanks
like I
for
said,
joining.
thank you for joining us, Pony. Are you going to be here next Tuesday?
What time?
Are you going to be here next Tuesday?
Maybe. Yeah. I'm doing two. I gotta get home before Thanksgiving.
All right, we'll talk about that off the air. Channel Attitude, go there, subscribe. OP Radio,
Do what's
wherever
right
you get
for
your
your country.
podcasts, or go to opradio.com, or just search OP Radio literally anywhere in social media or YouTube, and you'll find him. Great guy, love the Opster. And, of course, Statement Games, prop bets, gift cards, free to play, all that good stuff. We'll see you next Tuesday. Peace.
Thanksgiving show.